Well, the plot has thickened once again. Yeah, also my stench is thickened, so we need to deal with that. I need to take a shower. Probably now, like, now before I even do anything else. But also, like, locate a working firearm. We're looking for a gun, like the one that I use. That's narrowing things down. It's similar to, like, why I poked at the idea of that one other vehicle being the less common one. Just investigation-wise, it's very helpful if of the two vehicles that could have made that jump, it'd be very helpful if it was the one that's rare, because then we can find the rare vehicle. And similarly, we have come into a very nice situation where it appears the murder weapon is a nice, rare weapon that's not supposed to be in use anymore, and I even have an exact copy of it in my inventory. Unfortunately, I found it in a big place full of them, but I guess the one I took with me is the best quality one, and all the other ones were worse, so I guess none of those should be fireable. But if nothing else, I have a nice little reference to look at when I'm trying to find a better freaking firearm in general. So that'd be nice. That'd be nice if I could find a better if I could find that and be like, yo, seems you're the one who shot the dude. Unfortunate. It'd be even better if I can find a woman that has that specific gun, because I can't help but notice that there's a mystery woman that we're pretending isn't real. So I get the feeling that she's the one that has the gun. But I need to take a shower. And also we have 2 hours to go. Yeah, okay. So I want to get those boots, just in case it comes in handy at all. Hope it doesn't, like, make Kim massively distrustful of me or anything. It's just the quest doer in my brain. Because there are moments where my, the part of me that plays RPGs and the part of me that's trying to play a cop don't always... There's certain things that are role-playing and certain things that are just like the ways you play video game RPGs mechanically, and sometimes they don't perfectly match up, so I'm a little back and forth on, like, the question of, like, how do I deal with certain things. Like, I kind of want this item, I want to do this quest and collect this equipment, it might be important, but also maybe in universe the act of doing that might be a little weird. But I'm hoping that, I'm hoping I can get away with those shoes without it being too big of a deal, but we'll see. I need to go to my room. And maybe if we're lucky, how is she on the roof, by the way? I don't know, maybe the entire quest will turn out to be this giant farce that mocks you for trying to even get the armor by actively sabotaging you along the way, and like maybe the steps that are required to get it keep getting increasingly more distressing. I don't think I know how she's on the roof. I don't think I've ever been there before. Maybe I can find that. Let's just take a shower first. Just deal with that real quick. What's this? Kim tries not to look at the broken down bathroom door. Kim also tries not to look at the pile of tape viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner, but it's all just too morbid to ignore. The man is finding it hard not to trip on the tape, and not to send any of the bottles rolling across the floor. I did it my way. You looking at the destruction? He nods. Sorry for, this. No problem, officer. He takes a step towards the door, like he'd like to leave. Yeah, please leave. I'm gonna take a shower. Excuse me. Kim, you're following me into the bathroom? Try to stop the expression. I recited the poem, Tommy. And I know the origin. Can I defeat the expression? Can I do it? No, I cannot. Yeah. I just want the faucet to stop if I can. Look at this thing. It's just running the entire time. I'm gonna get in trouble here. You reek of death. Wash it off. There's a bathtub in your room and the whirling in rags. So yeah, so that's what they're specifying. Once I have privacy means after Kim's not with me, I guess, in like 2 hours, I think. The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. Look out. You see some lights shimmering outside, but it's difficult to make out the outlines of the buildings below. Dark phantoms with many tiny eyes, chaotically arranged, and not looking at you. I don't think this is an option for now. This is the balcony, right? But she's on the roof. Does her room have roof access, or am I missing the ladder somewhere? Because that character could be interesting to talk to again. Well, like, how did she get up there? Where is it? How's that work? Yeah, I probably lost points with Kim by even walking in that room with him, because he's seen it now. I'm sure I'm constantly gaining and losing points here and there. Maybe it's this room. Because if that might be her room, so this might be a weird... Kim? You're freaking out. You're freaking out on me. I can't click on this door. Yeah, maybe she's just up on the roof. Guess she just might have a cooler room. A nice cooler room with roof access. Which is in fact very much cooler. We did have the note of using the name against her. We've definitely made more... We've gotten more information since then. There's a lot of stuff I can't process till I can get across the lake. Or across the canal. Oh, right. The racist driver. That's one of the things we can handle while Kim's still around. We're trying to look into the whole drug situation a little bit. We can make any progress here. Although, before I get there... What's that? There's something down there. The musty smell of a potato cellar in spring emanates from the air vent. Tease shit ain't getting nothing to me. Yeah. I haven't been back here since I talked to the union leader. So I get into some of the parts where the stories don't line up between the two characters. 'Cause if I can get her to cave without actually having to go all deep on the situation with the drug smuggling, that'd be useful.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
By the way, I've talked to Everard Clare. You have? She smiles carefully. And how did you like Mr. Clare? He's a beautiful man. Beautiful and just. Everard Clare is a hero of the workers' movement. He is the champion I've sworn fealty to. No. There's a lot of creepy shit going on. He's a bloated rainbow socialist. I can do business with him. For a socialist, he's reasonable. He's not the champion I have chosen. I wish to swear fealty to you in the cause of capital. Ugh. It's not important if I like him. I was doing my job. No, I see them both as wolves. She's a more likable wolf because she's not as explicitly... well, they're both pretty explicitly manipulative, but she's not as explicitly... weirdly like gaslighty and distressing or whatever. Like there's some weird shit going on with Everard where he's like actively mischievous in a way that's like antagonistic to me as an individual, let alone just as somebody who wants power. But they're both not great people. But she's polite and I can hang out and have long political arguments with her for hours. Which is why I said I forgive you, but only because you're so charming. But also I kind of don't forgive her. It was politeness. I didn't. Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Oh, wait, actually. She answers her own question. Corruption! That's how he does it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption reaching into the bowels of the earth. She looks at the ground and nods. The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand the RCM does not pick sides. Of course, and I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I am not a corrupt worm myself. He turns to you. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be, she smiles, gossiping. Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things. I'd rather talk about something else for now, if you don't mind, is my only option. Of course, detective. She simmers down. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. No. I haven't actually talked to the Lorryman yet. But it seems like you can just be like, it seems like you can just kind of give up and not really commit to investigating the Lorryman. I straight up couldn't talk to her about anything from the Everett conversation, which is weird. Not even the contradictions between the ways the two of them presented information. Why, hello, the shitty one.
Looking for something?
Lorry driver recognizes you. You're lorry man, right? What's your stance on drugs? Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body. He takes a long drag on a cigarette. You smell of booze and cigarettes. What's different about narcotics? You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Yadamara. They take the money from your local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know how they know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage. Of course, he's anti-drugs because racism. It somehow permeates every element of his personality. Hold on, but they make Al Ghul alcohol in Ilmara too. I was told they do. I don't go for that foreign piss. Proper booze is made in Munti. Or sometimes I like a dram of that Yugograd vodka. Koshko ain't worth much, but they do know booze. So I take it you're not smuggling drugs out of Martinez. Not in, not out. I'll never betray the purity of my tribe. So you're telling us that you don't know anything about drug smuggling through Terminal B. I don't know shit, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. He puffs on a cigarette. Then what are you still hanging around for? Most of the other camionneurs have left. What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer. There are a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby. I did see one lorry with the trailer doors open on my way here. Do you know what happened? Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved his country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Whirling in Rags, when some kipped boy smashed his luck and damn near took everything. Lost his fucking job over it. He takes a long suck on the cigarette, appearing to savor the taste. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to. If they were getting drunk inside the Whirling in Rags, how could they know who broke into the lorry? If you were all at the whirling, how do you know it was Kips who broke into the lorry? What? Aren't we allowed to say that it's the Kips who do all the stealing around here? It's not rotor science, man. If it's not you, then who's running the drugs through Terminal B? Isn't it obvious? Fucking Siling, that beady-eyed South Samaran. He spits on the ground. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well. The one reselling humanitarian aid packages, right? That's the one. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. The lorryman takes a slow, satisfied drag and blows a smoke ring. He's your man, all right. 100%. He's a lorryman selling his employer's stuff. Broke the seals on his Humanox lorry. No doubt he's selling drugs, too. I wouldn't be so sure about it. Not until we've heard what Sealing himself has to say. Guess we need to pay Sealing a visit, then. Guess so. He grins, contented with himself. Didn't I already talk to Sealing? I'm trying to remember. I feel like I didn't even have the option to discuss the drug smuggling with him. Well, but I don't remember. Hey, the ranger stopped. What was that argument all about? It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. He spits on the ground. Not the most popular topic nowadays with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic, that is. Bury your head under the sand like common sheep. No sheep. Not sheep. Ostriches. But also ostriches don't do that either? Actually, neither ostriches nor sheep. Yeah, thanks Encyclopedia. Neither ostriches nor sheep bury their heads in the sand. It's just a saying. Sheep don't bury their heads. Ostriches do. You mixed up your metaphors. Whatever. Go back to your college class, Beano. Wow. Oh, Bino? That sounds like it's also a slur, but my encyclopedia didn't pop up to explain what it is. Bino. Sufficiently shitty, racisty, fascisty people kind of tend to use rhetoric that implies that even members of their own race are like members of, they're like corrupted by the race that they're mad at. Like inside of fascist circles, there's these creepy terms that imply, like basically anyone that they don't like, they can use to imply that that person's like 1/16th Jewish or 1/16th black or something, and it implies a lack of purity in the bloodline because there's always another tool to carve more people off of that hierarchy so that you can keep your, well, keep your fascism pure, basically. So I'm kind of wondering if that's the implication. Like they're running at the idea of like that you just, like, I'm somebody who just presents as white, but I'm actually like some lesser race by his standards. This is a rhetoric tool you can use to kind of get people to hang themselves a bit. Is just ask them to explain their bullshit. I'm kind of curious what happens if I encourage him to actually try to think through his nonsense. To be honest, I can't really remember what that means. Please explain. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. Have you met the guy on the bridge yet? Have you met the guy on the bridge? You might have an interesting conversation with that guy. I feel like it won't go well for you, though. He glances at Kim. So naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that. Okay, what else have you thought up? So lately, we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn. When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources. Yeah, what's the problem with that then? The problem, the damn Kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes? They throw a sharp glance. He throws a sharp glance at Lieutenant Kitsuragi, and the other intruder species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory. Cultural victory? What is this then? Wait, what's this cultural victory? It's what the Kips of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses, and the others too on the radio. Heard any Chansons lately? Heard any Motetos or Lider? No, dominating culture is how they plan to win. They say so themselves. Okay, so we're at the Jewish question now. Uh-huh. It's true. He pushes on. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what would happen if people don't stay in their birthplace. You might end up with a new subrace with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring. What the people that if different races which are themselves which to be accurate, to be clear here, like race itself is a political construct. It's not like it's a super arbitrary, especially when you get down to like the details of like what the hell a white person is, because Jesus Christ, that changes every decade, and it has for hundreds of years. It's like if you take these arbitrary political constructs of race groups and they mix, all you do is just get people that have a random grouping of the characteristics of both groups, and they're just another person, and that's it. It's not the fucking apocalypse. And they don't inherently then like break off into a new faction of only that particular new thing. It's like, what the fuck? I guess if you inherently view the entire world via a series of divisions that are drawn between each discrete race group, then you can only process a new mixture of genes as being an entirely new faction, basically. But that's just like not how anything works at all. That's a mess. Yeah, I'm not down with this. Why don't you go fuck yourself? Don't push your luck, runt. The man gives you a disgusted look, then turns his attention elsewhere, ignoring your presence. See? The moment I don't, just like the Bino thing, whenever I don't instantly pledge myself to the loyalty of his faction, he not only insults me, but has insults that are inherently based around genetics and the expression of those genes, like being the runt of the litter. I'm seen as the inferior specimen, because he's so superior, obviously. I mean, admittedly, I am a runt. Got this physique stat. It's not going great for me. But like he's not blowing any minds right now. I'm almost a magnesium-based life form then, and I'm gonna blow his mind when I ascend beyond human everything. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the part where I check all of these one by one to think of which one I want to remove. That is the downside to just putting points into things. But for now, I don't have a thought to process. But I do want to process the thoughts in general because of story. I just like the idea of a talent tree where every talent is itself story-oriented in some way. But I can't defeat my face. Hey, buddy. Oh, what's that? Oh, there's stairs there, right? That's why I have to take a weird path. Scribbled between the thighs of a page 3 girl, Lorraine Dudisco. Okay. Oh, I could ask the guy in the thrift store about the guns too.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Persuade him to give you some money. Wow, I'm really good at that. Humanitarian aid to macaronis. So, Sealing, what's your stance on drugs? Drugs? For a moment, he's unsure how to respond. I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course, in which case drugs are excellent. He kisses his fingers. Tasty, tasty drugs. Is this a declaration that affects my character, or is it just me persuading? Because I have reason to say I'm into drugs if I'm trying to get him to reveal the drugs. If he does have drugs. Admittedly, like, there's reason to suspect this guy because he has this weird, creepy thing where he's selling humanitarian aid products that there's not really a lot of interpretations where the chain of command of how that, or the chain of custody there is legitimate. Oh, I'm super into drugs. That's very cool. A lot of coolest detectives do drugs. Sadly, I don't have any drugs for sale. Or at my home, or on my person. He smiles. Oh, I'm gonna be a magnesium-based life form. Sir, it appears to be true. No drugs in sight. Not in the box of sunglasses or under the speakers. I actually don't like drugs. No, just whiplash back and forth. We're looking for a lorry driver who's transporting drugs out of the harbor. He or she is in this traffic jam. That's even cooler. You investigating that and all, but... He points to the goods. I'm not a lorry driver. I'm just a street vendor. I don't even know anything about that. Oh, that's a good point, isn't it? He's not even one of the drivers. Oh, never mind. He is lying. Whoops. A blatant lie, sire, yet he tells it with such conviction we'd believe him if we didn't know better. But you are a lorryman. Another driver has identified you and your lorry. Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater. So you admit you're a lorry driver? No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole. He stops to think, realizing he can't get out of it. Smart man. Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too, a little, but that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream. He spreads his arms. For a second, though, I believed him that he wasn't a lorry driver because I couldn't remember if we had already verified he was a lorry driver or not. And I was like, oh wait, was he just randomly in this traffic jam selling stuff because he's here? Because I hear about these stories where there are countries where there are traffic jams so significant that you just get stuck in traffic for days or weeks trying to get from one city to another, and the entire road is just stopped. And so, like, there's people who have, like, developed their lifestyles around this and gotten used to the idea. So, like, they will like, they'll have, like, grills and, like, stuff set up in their truck, because a lot of them are people that are shipping. A lot of these people have their truck set up with stuff where they can kind of just camp out and survive out of their truck, which is not completely outside of the norm in general for truck drivers necessarily, but when you're somebody who is used to, like, actually being stranded in your truck, you're like, they start developing stuff to deal with that, and there's sort of like a traffic culture where people just kind of end up hanging out outside of their trucks because they're just not going to be moving for hours or days. And so, like, you just have to live there for a while with your new neighbors and pop up little there's, like, certain communities that have, like, pop-up little markets that come out, and they try to profit off of the stranded truck drivers, and, like, there's, like, commerce finds a way in all these different contexts. So, like, hearing these other things, I'm like, I wouldn't be completely surprised if an example of that was being shown here, of somebody having a little pop-up shop near the traffic jam to kind of interact with these drivers that are stuck here for what is days in this case. I think you tend to be more stranded in a shittier place than this in the examples that I've heard of, though. Like, not in the middle of a port, but this is a really specific thing where the door's just closed. They're stranded for artificial reasons in this case. I had an experience of this where I drove through a town that I've driven through this town so many times, but it's got a drawbridge, and because it's by a river, And that's the only way to go in that direction, which is basically the only way to go through town. It was one of those towns that just has a highway that goes through the middle of the town, and the town is kind of shaped like that highway. So like it's just like kind of a long town, except for like the nodule of suburban houses that goes off in one direction. Like it's just a bunch of shops and gas stations and other buildings like that along that highway for the most part, and it's kind of shaped around that idea. And so you kind of just blink and you miss it kind of town. You just go through it all the time. But I have reason to go through it on a regular basis. But after years of going through there for the first time, I was stuck in the town trying to go back home across the bridge, and the bridge went up. And I'm like, oh, it does do that. Like I genuinely wasn't sure if it was still in use, and boats still went through and so on, and that was actually a thing where it had to go and everything. And what was amazing is the bridge was up for like, well, I couldn't actually see the bridge from where I was trapped in traffic, but traffic stopped for like an hour. And it was a really weird experience to be like this isn't just traffic. I'm not just stuck in traffic, like normal traffic, where it's like, oh, we're going slow, there's maybe a crash somewhere or some other nonsense is happening. It's like, no, something's happening where this town has functionally shut down as a concept. It's like Factorio and stuff like that, when one of your tracks gets full because the resource isn't being used, and so it just fills up the entire track, and then that keeps backing up further and further down your assembly line. Like all of the arteries of this town were slowly shutting down because so many cars go through that main street on their way to other places past this town without even really meaning to go to this town necessarily. So you just saw this line of cars backed up from the bridge all the way through the main street, all the way down out of town in the other direction to like the dead grass fields and hills that are most of California, off into the distance over the horizon, just out of line of sight. You can just see cars all the way back. But then all of the different turns that turn towards the main street were also full of people that were trying to turn in that direction. And every now and then people get frustrated and they turn the opposite direction and see if they can find some alternate path. It doesn't exist. You have to drive for hours to find a different way across that bridge from there. Like it's not worth it to try to find a different detour. And like all these people are just stuck. Like everyone that's trying to turn like left or right in the direction that's like takes you towards the bridge, all those people are also stuck, backed up. So it's not just the main street that gets backed up, it's all the individual arteries that lead to the main street all get progressively more and more backed up over time until more and more of the town is functionally shutting down. And so you start seeing more and more people taking like weird U-turns, not to necessarily go anywhere else because they can't, but to just like, you start just kind of giving commerce to like all of the different like fast food chains or stores in the area, because people just start looking for anything else to do because they're just... It's like, well, we can't leave this town. We're just here for like an hour, and like as your patience wears thin, you just sort of start finding new things to do, as I did too. It was just a different experience, being this weird feeling of being stranded in a town, even though you're in your car. Is I don't know, maybe different people relate to that more or less, but for me, living in Central California, it doesn't happen. Especially since unless there's a very specific problem, like a river in this case with the drawbridge, you can always go around a traffic jam. At most, you're losing like 20 minutes or something in California, in Central California. Like all of the farmlands themselves have a giant, very like all of the farmlands that make up the gaps between all the cities and everything and freeways, all themselves have like a grid of like lesser used roads connecting them, so there's always a way. So this was a unique experience for me, at least, and it just made me think of these kinds of situations of the shops being set up. And that's why I thought for a second he might have been telling the truth, because, you know, I'm willing to admit I might be wrong about individual characters and forget exactly what their job was. And he's with the lorry drivers, thought he was a lorry driver, he says he's not a lorry driver. I'm like, oh wait, did I mess up? But no, he's lying. He's just a lying little dickhead. Haha.
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too, a little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
He spreads his arms. So you were embarrassed to tell me?
No, I just forgot. It's such a small part of my life. It's in the rear view mirror now. I'm climbing out of that hole with ingenuity.
You're literally doing your lorry driving right now. You're just stranded. It seems like you're just selling your cargo, which seems like it's itself a problem. Tai Leng, my source tells me you're the one transporting drugs from the Union. No, that's insane. It's the fat hater. He's been eyeing me for a week and sent you here. Maybe he's the one, huh? Have you thought about that? Just stop squirming. What do you know about the drug operation in the harbor? Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved in that crowd. And what crowd is that? Crowd, you know, the drug crowd. No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd. It wasn't some drug crowd. You know who they are. Tell me now. Shh, please. He looks around, then lowers his voice. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I've spent 15 years working my way up. Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it. If you don't want to get into this mess, you have to give us a reason to move on. It's a she, okay? He whispers. The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she shakes his head. She's no lady. Interesting. Could this driver be connected to the Hardy Boys? That's what I was thinking for a second, but it's... I don't know. Why would a member of the Hardy Boys also be a driver? Because aren't the drivers not necessarily local at all? I guess a driver could be based here. Who are these other drivers who talk? All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now? I really want us to be cool now. Who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours? The racist? Or the other one with the tattoos? He points north. All of them, even the ones who've left. I don't hang out with them. I don't remember who has tattoos. Is the lady driver the old woman back there? Point to the pale driver. Dazed out, strange. I don't know, maybe? If she is, I haven't gone near her. I don't get involved, I told you. He's not ruling her out. I kind of doubt that, though. Although they did make a whole portrait for her and everything, like it feels like she might do more than just do nothing all game, but who knows. Could she be associated with the Hardy Boys? I don't know, I'm not a local. I don't know anything about that. Okay, we're cool now. Alright, he snaps back to his usual self. Ice cold. Let's cap this off by a purchase. You can walk away from here with funky sunglasses. Detectives, both of you, you deserve it. He ratted out the lady driver. Oh, we keep getting a higher chance. He's slowly working with us more. Yeah. I just feel like it's extortionist, though. Oop. I don't know. Cops extorting people creeps me out. There's some really fucked up policies in the United States where people can just kind of get pulled over and then just have their stuff confiscated indefinitely forever, and then the cops profit off of the stuff they're confiscating, which then incentivizes them to keep confiscating things, and they don't really have to justify confiscating the stuff, not really. So it's just basically like a really bizarre, like the asset forfeiture thing, where like they just kind of could just steal from people. It's like, the fuck? How is this even a thing? And it's like, well, because if you introduce profit motives into basically any system, you get profit motivated behaviors. Magnesium-based life form.
We tell them, hell no. You're about to become a magnesium-based life form. The age of the primitive carbon man is done. No longer must mankind rely on slow-working background radiation to take us further into our genetic destiny. This is the era of guided evolution, and magnesium is the key. You are the first of your species, the next step in human evolution, an advanced magnesium proto-man who mags it up, drinks it down, and sniffs it sideways. +2 volition. Neat. -1 logic. Aw. Dang it. Magnesium receptacle glands? But -1 logic. No such thing, man. What, of magic? I mean, of logic? Magic? And I do have a point to spend. They're gonna start coming faster now that I have this one trick that... Oop. Right, the info on the lynching I can't do till he's gone. Yeah, we're trying to find out this lady driver. It would definitely be useful. It's convenient for me if lady driver turns out to also be the Hardy Boy girl. Because then we can fucking have anything to investigate. Like anything to base our forward progress on. Look how fast I'm getting experience now. Like, this is gonna turn out to be the most important, yeah. My art degree is gonna turn out to be my most fucking powerful stat ever. That's definitely a dick. It's gonna be the most powerful stat we're gonna have in this entire game. Because it gives me 10 experience every time conceptualization comes up, which is like one of the most common ones that happens for me. I should level up conceptualization even more to just make it come up more and more. Oh my god, look how high I can get. It's a little concerning, actually. I'll throw you a point. You'll pay for yourself in the long term. That's the idea. But in the future, I might want to keep one skill point free so I can, on the fly, unlearn something to then learn the new thing whenever something new comes in. I'm sure I can find things here that I don't like. +1 XP for every orb clicked. Oh yeah, the little orbs you click on. Yeah, that does happen over time. I forgot about that one though, because it's subtle. Because the other one was +4 XP for leftist choices. There we go. Left-wing dialogue gives you 4 XP. These are amusing. But you lose 2 stats. So you better hope that you, over the course of the game, get so many that you're making up for 2 stat points, which I'm not sure. It would help if I had any idea how long the game is, or how far I am in it. Because it definitely feels like I'm early, because we haven't even left the starting zone, technically. Let's see, I still have like an hour and a half before we lose Kim. So I can talk to other people about the lady driver.
Make way for the master poet.
He greets you with a nod. I heard that one of the drivers is a woman, but I don't think she's here. Do you know this lady driver? He shifts around, suddenly uncomfortable, then looks away. I don't want to talk about that. I don't mean to pry, but I need your help. She may be involved with the drug business. Man, I was hoping it wasn't going to be her. He bites his lip. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker, and I don't know where she is. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. Who is she to you? A friend? An acquaintance? I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay? You said you didn't know who's conducting the drug trade, now you I asked you who's conducting the drug trade. You said you didn't know, now you're saying you're due. I didn't, man. I told you I was hoping it's not her. That she wouldn't be mixed up in it. It's true. We would have caught a lie, but a kind heart is tricky. Bah, emotional rhetoric. He knew something, and he didn't share it with you. That's a fact. Who is this person? What's her name? Thank God I don't know. People call her the Lady Driver. She kept her name a secret, from me too. Now I see why. Well, then what does she look like? A youngish woman, gruff, but in a cool way. What color hair? Is it gonna be blonde? No. Blue and violet. Died. He answers reluctantly. It was violet when she got here, blue before she went. Then she may have dyed it again. When did she leave? Damn, I don't wanna... He looks you straight in the eyes. Please, just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person, I know that much. We can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation. That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. He shakes his head. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience. It won't come to that. We won't pursue her on this. This is information only. I don't believe you. You said she's troubled. How? She's got darkness in her. The young person's darkness. When you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out. She shared this with you? Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her. I was told everyone's afraid of her. You're not? I've heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers look at me strange when she talked. But she told me too that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her. Did this violent life include drug trafficking? Well, he sighs. It looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind. Hold on, her mind? The way it worked, the trouble it was giving her. I wonder if there's any kind of similar behavior between her and me. Oh right, the +2 volition means I have 4 morale points now. Look at that health bar. Look how I'm so morale. I'm so full of morale. I'm just overflowing with it. When she left, did she leave her lorry behind? Fuck, man, go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out. He's right. There are other options. The raceman, for one. The gray-haired woman. Maybe she knows something. Wait, this guy says they're friends. Then acquaintances. And he's okay with others ratting her out? We do keep going back and forth a lot. If he genuinely wants her to be handled as best as possible and not... Like, if he wants to make the case for her, then he should want me to talk to him instead of other people. That'll be less charitable. If she needs to be handled delicately, or if this is a special case or anything like that, then he's the best case. But he's trying to throw a bit off, even though he knows he'll still investigate. Maybe he's not thinking that part through. Or maybe he's lying about the whole compassion element. Because he's distancing himself again now, and he's apparently okay with other people ratting them out. Put yourself in my shoes. I need this for another investigation too. It's important, I can't blow it. You're not gonna put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Cause she's on the edge, man. So you're right, with others ratting her out. You just don't want your hands dirty? Fine, I don't want to be a butcher, and I don't want to be a knight either. I just want to be a person who can sleep at night. A little fame wouldn't hurt too. Fine, I'll drop the matter for now. Thank you, friend. He sighs, with a big sigh of relief. Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again. Would help with my rhymes, too. What do you see in his eyes? Yeah, not until I unlock more empathy. Which actually might be on my way, too. No, but actually none of that led to any experience.
If I can see into his eyes, maybe I can figure something out. I wonder if it is her on the roof. How do I get up there?
Looking for something, Hunt? Huh? Coming to tell me to fuck off again?
I know you've been giving me the runaround. Fess up, where's the lady driver? He smirks. I don't know what you're talking about. First, you knew Sealang didn't do it. He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another lorryman's job. You should be thankful for the tip. He grins a wide smile. Then why are you smirking? Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revicol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything. So who does? The lady driver? No. The lieutenant turns to the lorryman. He means La Puta Madre. A legendary, and not in a good way, crime boss from Jamrock. Controls what is probably the most powerful organized crime outfit in Revicol West. For a moment the lorryman is silent. Then he spits on the pavement. Yeah, him. Cross your arms and nod? Then I presume you're familiar with his peones. Yeah, he says, unsure where this is leading. There's little bitches. He's got them all over the Union. Not just the Unions. He has peones everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. He gets closer to him. Dirty fucking peones who do anything for him. Multi-ethnic drug addicts. The lieutenant adopts a rodentine quality. Be cool, sire. He's getting into this. Yeah, I figured, because one of my options was to kind of argue back with Kim, and the other one was to get interrupted by saying the name out loud, and acting confused about it. So I realized, oh, he's totally playing into something. I should just let him take charge. Yeah, say nothing. You're not peones, he said. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were. No, of course not. We're not peones. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peone's job to find out who that is. He's surprisingly good at this. Not bad at all. Look at him lurching. It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry. He looks at him. But the stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief. His eyes dart between you and the lieutenant. I'm not scared of you, or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorryman and Carter's Guild. You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there? The lieutenant points to the yard. Did his shitty little guild protect him? Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you... He tries to light a fresh cigarette, but his hands are shaking now. The sentence simply ends. The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod. Be careful. This man's still got some fight in him by the looks of it. It won't be easy to break him. It won't be easy break him. Aww. So Kim's bluff gave me a +2 on this half-light skill. Oh, and he saw me snooping his cabin, which gave us a +1 also. But wait, I lost one from the go fuck yourself. But you know what? He can keep it. I'm so sorry, Kim, but Half-Light is not my shit. I only have 1 point in Half-Light. We're done for now. Come on, Half-Light. Half-Light is a red skill, so it'd be over here. Oops. Yeah. Just making sure it's not like a net 0, like a +1, -1. No. No. Minus Half-Light. Wow, thanks.
I don't think that's a one. Oh, +1. Better than interfacing for now, even though interfacing is my style. These aren't those kinds of items. Yeah, the best I can do is a half-light of +1, which doesn't seem great.
Yes.
Oops.
Looking for something, Hunt? Huh? Coming to tell me to fuck off again?
17%. How much better can I do than that? He saw me snooping his cabin. I'm curious, can I go a little further? I bet he wouldn't be excited if that happened. No. All you can do is look in the window. I need some conceptualization triggers, because then I can get another skill point at least to help with half-light. I think I can only put like 1 point in. Yeah, only 1 point in, but it might be the breakthrough I need. So I need 30 skill points. We'll see about that. might be at a tomorrow thing. Pale driver. Yeah, I don't want to bother her. We now know that she's young. She keeps changing her hair color. She's on the verge. So it's not her. That guy seems to be telling us the truth. What else would I investigate right now? We're kind of on an island until tomorrow. The smoker on the balcony, not to be confused with the other smoker on the balcony. Didn't she seem young? The question is it a new character or is it her? Can I talk to her from here? No. Around here somewhere? Oh, whoa, what was that? The sound of melting snow dripping from the roof. It's strange. I seem to be missing something completely. Alright. Huh. Well, we still have 1 hour to go.